All right, welcome to The Explainer. So today, we're diving into a story that you won't find in any official history book. Nope, this one comes from a single, forgotten notebook. And it's a story about a world that, well, was deliberately wiped from memory. Everything kicks off with this line, right? A deathbed confession, whispered in a tiny Soviet apartment way back in 1952. It was a promise to finally tell the truth. A truth that would then get buried for more than 60 years. And this promise, it was kept inside a small brown leather notebook, which was just, stumbled upon at an estate sale in Montreal in 2019, tucked away in a box of old papers. As you read it, the handwriting completely changes. It gets all urgent and cramped, like the writer was literally racing against the clock to get this story down before it was lost for good. So what was this big secret? Well, the notebook belonged to a young man named Victor. And it's his record of the last few absolutely world-altering days of his grandfather, Mikhail Sokolov. Here's what Mikhail told him. Get paper, get a pen. I have to tell you something before I go. Something true, something they erased. Now, Mikhail Sokolov was born way back in 1869. To everyone who knew him, he was just an 83-year-old retired postal clerk. A guy who'd lived a super quiet, totally unremarkable life. But that was all a cover. And then, just 2 days before he passed away, Mikhail dropped this bombshell. I am Tartarian, not Russian, not Soviet, not Tatar, Tartarian. I am the last one who remembers what it was. He was claiming to be the very last of his kind, the only person left who remembered an entire lost civilization and the incredible things they knew. And what a story it was. I mean, get ready for this. Mikhail starts describing a city of Kazan that you will not find in any official history book. Why? Because he said this city was literally a musical instrument. Yeah, you heard that right. A city that sang. He talked about these buildings with huge copper domes on top, which he called singing caps. And these weren't just for show. Oh no, they were engineered to vibrate with the wind, creating these complex, calming harmonies that would just wash over the entire city. Think about it. Architecture designed to keep you healthy and calm. So this wasn't just about cool buildings. This lost Tartarian knowledge, it was a whole system for living. I'm talking about cities designed for well-being, a forgotten language, an advanced grasp of acoustics, the whole shebang. It was all connected. And this way of living was so different that they had their own language for it, filled with words for ideas that, honestly, we don't even have concepts for anymore. Take this word krasnost. It's not just redness. It's the specific frequency of red. Can you imagine that? They didn't just see the color red. They could perceive its resonant frequency. This allowed them to pick the exact bricks they needed to build their city instrument correctly. Then there's zvanosta. This isn't just resonance. It's a very specific quality of sound that heals. So for them, sound wasn't passive. It was a tool. They literally engineered this healing quality into their bells and domes. And this one might be the wildest. Dusha kamya. It literally means soul of stone. They believed that the stones of old buildings actually held a memory of their original purpose, that the building itself remembered how to function, even after the people forgot. So you have this incredible, almost magical world. But here's the dark twist in Mikhail's story. This knowledge wasn't just lost to time. He claimed it was systematically hunted down and destroyed. And the notebook lays out this really chilling pattern of suppression. We're talking about Mikhail's own father, a coppersmith who had the technical drawings for these singing domes. He gets arrested in 1918 and just disappears. Then you have a teacher arrested for talking about it, a woman who vanishes after writing about it. One by one, anyone who knew too much or even just asked the right questions was silenced. And this is how they did it. You get two different histories. The official record would give these really boring, mundane explanations, right? Oh, the copper was deteriorating. We're just doing some structural repairs. But according to the notebook, these were all just excuses for a deliberate campaign to dismantle this amazing Tartarian technology and erase it from history. Okay, so this is where it all comes to a head, right? Is there any proof for any of this? I mean, this is an incredible story, but is it just the deathbed fantasy of a very old man? Well, the person who uncovered this notebook decided to find out. They asked, could the geometry of a lost city actually be measured? So they got their hands on some pre-Soviet maps of Kazan, fired up modern CAD software, and started plotting the exact buildings Mikhail had named. And what they found is, well, it's pretty mind-blowing. The buildings weren't placed randomly at all. They formed these perfect equilateral triangles. And the distances between them, they matched up almost perfectly with major mathematical constants, the golden ratio and the silver ratio. It was like a hidden geometric blueprint for the whole city. But wait, it gets even crazier. They dug up this obscure paper from 1896 by a German engineer named Wilhelm Schaefer. And in it, he describes the domes in Kazan as Helmholtz resonators, a super sophisticated acoustic tech that could actually change the local atmospheric pressure. He basically confirmed everything Michiel said about the advanced physics. So how many other groundbreaking papers did this brilliant engineer Wilhelm Schaefer publish after this one? The answer is 0, a big fat 0. After he documented this seemingly impossible technology, he and all his work just, poof, vanished from all academic and historical records. And if there is any doubt left in Victor's mind about how dangerous this information was, it was erased just 2 days after Michele died. 2 men from the Ministry of Culture show up. They search his apartment, take all the old books and drawings, and leave him with a chillingly simple warning. There are no such things as Tartarians. The message couldn't have been clearer. Stay quiet or you'll disappear too. So today, if you go to the Kazan Kremlin, it's silent. The harmonies are gone. All you hear are tourist guides and the wind. When the author of our source visited in 2021, they found that the city had literally lost its voice. The domes are gone, and where some of these incredible buildings once stood, there's now just a parking lot. But the memory, it's not completely dead. It survives in whispers, in folklore. The author spoke to a flower seller there who said, "My grandmother said they used to sing. You could feel it in your bones, a vibration that made you calm." It's a truth that somehow managed to survive, passed down through generations who were explicitly told to forget. And that leaves us with this final, really powerful idea from the notebook. The machine is broken, but the blueprint persists in the foundations. Someone just has to remember how to read it. Mikhail Sokolov might have been the last one who remembered the whole story, but the clues are still out there. The geometric patterns on old maps, the buried foundations. So the real question is, what happens when we start looking for the history that was intentionally erased? What else are we going to find?